Good morning, YouTube. So today on Big Jake's Garage, we're going to replace our HEI distributor on Project Yacht. So I've been having a lot of misfiring problems. Like, it'll idle great, and then once you get underneath a load, it'll start to miss. And there's really no short story to this, but basically what happened about beginning of summer, I was taking the fiance around the lake, and the truck was like, you shut the key off, and it died. And it's happened to me once before. It was the ignition module, I want to say is what it's called, inside the distributor. I got a new distributor here. It's that piece right there. So I go out and replace it, and it was on a Sunday, and we just got to the parts store, you know, like 10 minutes before they close. Picked it up, put it in, drove it home. About a week later, I take the truck back out, and it starts missing. Actually, no, back up. The truck wouldn't start. So what I did, I'll show you when I pull that distributor out. It was, I opened up the cap, and see that green wire? It had pulled out of the pin there. Well, me being me, thinking I'm smart, I cut that wire and put a new pin in there, and I actually lengthened the wire. Well, truck starts up and runs, and cool, it's running. But then every time it gets underneath a load, it starts to miss. Well, I started to think, well, maybe I had water in the gas. And the reason why I think that, if you come over here, I got this boat gas tank that was hooked up. And it's no longer hooked up. I got the original tank running. And we had torrential downpour, so I'm like, oh, maybe it had water in the tank. And this is why I think that. Because after I unhooked that tank, got the original tank running, it quit. Like, it was missing a little bit, but then after about, I don't know, 5 miles, it quit. It was running nice and smooth. Except it had a small miss. Like, you could just slightly hear it at highway speeds. It had a slight miss. I'm like, something's not right here. So about 2 weekends ago, I take the truck out, and it's throwing a fit. It is not happy. It's missing badly. We did about a 5-mile trip up to the local lake and back, and it was just not having it. So, and I went and I talked with a guy. He seemed pretty knowledgeable, and he's thinking by me taking that wire, cutting it, might have messed with the pickup or whatever inside the distributor, causing it to miss. But we'll see if that's the case, because we're going to put this in today. Brand new distributor. Picked it up yesterday. So that's what we're going to do. I will throw you guys up on the tripod. And I got a spark plug wire kit, or set, or whatever you want to call it, too. So we'll replace the spark plug wires. And but that's the plan today. Get a new distributor in. I don't have my timing light, so we'll kind of have to go by ear. But alright, let's get to it. Alright, so I got the cap loose. I'll pull it up here. Maybe it'd help if I unplug that. Well, we got the cap off, and maybe that was part of my issue right there. Look at that. That is crazy. Never seen it like that before. It don't look too terrible, but I'll show you what I did. So, get these wires out of the way. I took that pickup wire, I did that, I soldered a piece on, and you can't really see it if I go like that, but you know, maybe that is what is causing the issue. Looked like it was getting hot. I don't know, there's some issues with this distributor. But, alright, let's go pull it out the rest of the way. I've never pulled one of these out before. So, now let's see what happens. Alright, well, I kind of skipped ahead here a little bit, but I got it all loosened up, so we're going to go pull it out. I also took a couple pictures. That way, make sure I get everything in the right kind of place when we put the new distributor back in. Alright, well, let's see if getting the picture frame out. Here it is. So, I can give you a better look. Kind of what I did, as you can see in there. I just kind of put pins in, and, well, I don't think I liked it too much. So, there's some other little things that I found wrong with this truck, so we're going to go ahead, look over some other things, make sure everything's right in the right spot, and then we're going to throw the new distributor in and put wires in, and then I think that should be it, and then we can take it out for a drive. Alright, YouTube, so I got the distributor out, and as you've seen in the other scene, I don't know if you did, but I'll show you again. Get right up there. This is what I did to it. So this was where the pin was, and it went into that little black piece here, which I kind of broke. So I just put these two pins like that. Well, I'm not wondering, either they could be arcing, I don't know, or it's the length of the wire causing it to screw up. But I also, going through the engine bay, a lot of them wires are shot. They're old. So give you guys a little story. About 4 years ago now I've had the truck. I basically bought it and I just drove it. I did no maintenance to it because I didn't plan to keep the engine in it. And as time went by, things kept getting worse and worse, and now this is where we end up like this. But my plan was to throw originally a 454 in it, and my buddy talked me out of it, said, hey, you should do an LS swap. And I was like, nah, I don't really want to do that. And then I watched a video where this guy had an LS on an engine stand. It was like 3 wires. He fired it right up. I'm like, okay, you know what? We'll do that. And so that's what we're going to do, throw an LS in it. So I didn't really want to go and spend money on a distributor, but I need a pickup truck. And at the same time, I want to bring this thing to a couple car shows. One of the car shows, if any of you guys are living in Minnesota, is Frankensteiner's Ball. I'm going to be bringing this there this year. That's the plan. So I'll show you guys the cap again too. But as you can see, like, these are like brand new, and then you go to this side and it's just all rusty and nasty looking. So it's probably in need of a new cap, and well, it's in need of new wires too. Them wires, actually a couple of them were sitting right on the header. So we're going to do some wire management, because the guy that put this motor in did no wire management. It was like 2 zip ties, bunched them up together and called it good. So we're going to go do wire management, throw the new distributor in. So let's get to it. Is she rolling? Oh, she is rolling. Okay. Alright, YouTube, well, I got you sitting on the brake booster. Hopefully that's a little bit better than where I had you, but we're going to throw the new distributor in. We're just going to go down like this. Now, I've never thrown one of these in before. So, I want to say it was pointed just about there. Maybe like that. No, that's too far. Maybe we gotta go like that. Ooh, Sheehan. I think that's where I had her. Let me look at the picture. And yeah, I want to say that's right. It's somewhere in there. And I think the distributor is pointing about there. So, alright, well, I'm going to go get that buttoned up. And then I'm going to throw the wires in. I may do a time lapse on that. And next clip should be with the truck running. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Alright, YouTube, well, the lighting ain't that good, but I got the new distributor in. Barely see it in this lighting. Got the plugs on. They came with these little clips. So, did some wire management. Nice and clean. So I didn't get any video of me first starting it up and taking it out for a drive. But when I first started it, it was too far advanced. So I retarded it some, then it fired up. So then I set the distributor and took it out for a spin, and about mid-throttle to full throttle, you could hear it was spark knocking a little bit. So then I came back, retarded it some more, and then it was like about topping. You could slightly hear it. So I just retarded it again just a little bit. So we're gonna go and take it out for a spin, but I'll start it up for you. It runs great. Actually, it runs better than what it used to. And it was always a good running truck. So I'm going to take you guys out for a little spin in the land yacht, and we'll see how she's running now. Got you hanging up on the ceiling, so we'll see how good of a video this turns out. Quite a bit of pep in it. Throttle response feels really good. Wide open throttle. Yeah, I'm not hearing no spark knock. I apologize if there's any wind noise. It's hot out. It's in the 80s right now. Alright, YouTube. So, the truck runs and drives great. Except for one issue. It's got a, I'd say it's vapor locking. I'd say about 10 miles into the trip. In the video, you'll see me turn by the stoplights and we're going up that big hill. And right towards the top of the hill, it started to run out of fuel. That's what it was acting like. And I went through a few gallons and there was a gas station on top of the hill. And I started driving, got up to highway speed, and it started doing that same thing again. The more throttle you give it, it was like falling flat on its face. So, got back down into town, it was fine. Took it back up on the highway, coming back to this town, and it was doing that. I was scared I wasn't going to make it. And, so I'm sure it's a vapor locking issue. It's either in the carburetor and the fuel line. And before I open up the hood and show you, here is the #1 spark plug wire that I pulled off of this thing. So no wonder why it was not running right. But here, I'll take you guys and we'll get the hood opened up. So, got the new spark plugs in, distributor, but there's no like thermal spacer or anything in there. And the fuel line runs right down between the alternator and the motor. So, either it's vapor locking up in here or it's in here. But when I stopped and pulled over, I went and put my hand on here and it didn't feel like it was all that hot. But it must be, or something. But I think I'm going to reroute the fuel line, and I did get a thermal spacer for this thing, so we'll put that in. I got a rebuild kit, which will be the next video. Pull this off and rebuild it. I've never rebuilt one of these. I've only pulled the bowl off because it had a bunch of junk in the tank. So that'll be the next video. Other than that, this thing runs and drives beautifully now. So I've gotten a lot of subscribers over the last couple months now. I think I'm at 162, so thank you guys for subscribing, and thank you guys for watching the video. I'm not the best cameraman or the best dude in front of the camera, but I'm working on it. But yeah, next video will be the carburetor. And then I got myself a wiring harness, which I'll show in the next video too. It's a painless wiring harness. And I'll open it up, kind of do a reveal of it. Although I have already opened it. And that's to get the book out of it, because I'm going to devour the book. I want to get this thing rewired before the end of the month. I'm going to take a day off of work right around the weekend, so I'll have about 3 days off. And that's what it should take me to go through and rewire this thing. And I'll show you some of the wiring. Little sneak peek, but look at that. You know. And there's a few cracks up in the wire too, I've seen. This is for the second battery that I had in it. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for this video anyways. So next video, I should say, should be up next week, and because I'm going to go and rebuild this carburetor right now after this video, and then that'll be, you know, another video. So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching, and have a great Labor Day weekend.